Hello, it's me James and you're watching DC Comics Sticks. On this week's episode is a comic book a lot of you have been waiting for. It's Martian Manhunter, issue number 1. Okay, so let's start with a cover as per usual. And here on the cover you can see Johns, aka Martian Manhunter, holding the world in the palm of his hand. And what we can see here is that the world is turning red, as if it's almost becoming a new Mars. What I really like about this cover though is just the stylistic design of it. We've got the kind of old, really retro inking style of the dots there, just to, in this case, add the shading instead of the colour. And I just think that's really, really nice to see, actually. So in this issue, we see Martian Manhunter struggling with this idea of, is he a hero, or is he a weapon manufactured by the White Martians? And this is a really interesting dynamic to see this hero take on. And there's not many who are currently having this kind of struggle and identity crisis within DC Comics, so it really does make Martian Manhunter stand out. I think one of the first questions you'll be asking yourself as a reader is, who is Mr. Biscuit? He's a character we see at the bookends of a magazine, and he looks quite similar to our hero in colour and red eyes, but he's under some sort of weird disguise, so we're hoping a bit more will be found out about him in the upcoming issues. There's a lot of it gets covered in this one issue, which is really great, but the thing I think is great to focus on actually is how well that John's written as a character. There's one point where he's preventing a plane from crashing, and he is very considerate and thinks about the terror that the passengers must be feeling, so he goes in and calms their minds for them. Unfortunately, we soon learn of the Epiphany, and this is a thing that goes on a very large scale. We see appearances from the Justice League, we see a brutal attack in Dubai, and we also kind of see that fear of the aliens living among us. So yes, a lot gets covered in this issue. There's a real special quality about the desaturation of the colour in this issue, and it really adds to the menacing look on some of the characters' faces, and also the opposite where it's showing the fear on some of the characters' faces. And yeah, that's one thing I'd say really, really stands out. So, in conclusion, this really is a top quality read. The only thing that drops it is there's a certain lack of clarity between the narrative voices on the first shift over, from the kind of Mr. Biscuits to the Martian Manhunter speech, and also to the kind of narrative. So yeah, that drops it a little bit, but overall I would give this comic a 95 out of 100. I would encourage pretty much anyone to pick this up. It's a very personable story, but also quite a big story, and with lots of action, dark nature. It's got everything you could think in one comic book in this comic, apart from maybe a romance story, but who knows, that might happen soon. That's all from me from this week, but keep up to date with all things DC, and keep following EQView.com for all the latest stories from all the other writers.